All right, so don't have anybody on right now, but we're out here on a small lake. I'm gonna get up here on the front. Probably gonna start off throwing the chatterbait, probably gonna throw the buzzbait some, and I'm gonna work down this weed edge and see if I can catch some fish. Right now, the water temps are 64 degrees. It's about like 58 degrees right now as far as air temperature, and I think the fish should be biting. We have a good little breeze blowing, and the sun is up high right now, but I think the fish should be dialed in pretty good. Hopefully it's going to be like a bait fish bite. Like I said, probably the chatterbait, spinnerbait, maybe the buzzbait as well. But we're going to work down this weed edge and we're going to see if we can catch some fish. I'm probably going to fish for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. And we're just going to see what we can catch. We're going to have some fun. And that's the main thing about it. We've got the phone set up. We should have good service here, so we shouldn't have to worry about a lot of lagging issues or anything like that. And we're just going to see if we can catch some fish and maybe catch a big one. So I need for one person to comment real quick, if they will, to make sure that my mic sounds good. I got it up here. I always want to make sure that my sound quality is good. And we're going to start right here on a main lake point. And it's a series of points that works down through to the mouth of a cove. And we're going to work down there and see if we can get bit. So let's get up here on the front. And I'm going to show y'all what I'm going to start off with right here. I'm going to start off with the good old Strike King Thunder Cricket. This is chartreuse and white with the gold blade. And I have the Mock Player paddle tail on the back. It has a good little thin tail to it, so it has a lot of action. A lot of people don't like throwing paddle tails on the back of their chatterbaits, but it's really, really good if one has a thin section that goes to the tail. You get a lot of movement back there behind it. So we're going to start off right here, throwing kind of up on this weed edge, and we're going to see if we can catch some fish. There are big fish in here. The water's pretty clear, has a little bit of a stain to it, not bad at all. But this lake has a lot of bait fish in it. It's only 120 acres, and it's got some big ones in it. Like I said, it's got some bigs. I think the biggest one that I caught out of here this year was 6 something, maybe 7 something, but that'd be awesome if we could catch one that big today. That'd be pretty cool. I did bring the camera a little bit closer to me for this one. I know the last live I did, I had the camera a little bit further back, and some people said it was back a little bit too far, kind of hard to see, so I brought that up just a little bit. But it's a lot of, I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know what kind of grass it is in here, to be honest with you. It's not hydrilla, but it's some kind of milfoil, I believe, but it's really green and lush, and it holds a lot of these fish. A lot of fish stay up here in it. They stay shallow. This isn't a very deep place. Deepest water in here is like 12 foot at the dam, and it's like 8 foot out in the channel. Right now, I'm only fishing in about 4 to 5 foot, somewhere in there. But I'm just working off this point because it should be some fish out here off of it. But I'm throwing this on the Lose. This is the TP2. This is 6 foot 10 inch. This is actually the square bill rod, but it's like a composite blend rod. And I really like it for the chatterbait. Some people like a rod that's a little bit stiffer for the chatterbait. Personally, I like one that has some really good give to it and loads up very, very deep. That's just my personal preference. Everybody might not like that, but that's just what I throw it on. That 6'10" to me is the perfect length. I throw my spinnerbait on a 6 foot 10 inch rod as well. And I just really like that length because it's not too long to where, if I'm fishing in tight areas and I need to make really, really precise cast, I still can. But it is long enough where I can get that hook into that fish and load it up into them. 7 foot, once you get 7 foot casting, to me, a chatterbait and a spinnerbait, if you're in a tight area, to me, you just cannot make as accurate a cast up to the shoreline, especially if you're throwing around a lot of wood and stuff. I really like to be super, super accurate when I'm throwing up there tight around it. So, and I don't really want to have two different rods for the chatterbait or the spinnerbait. So 610 is like that perfect in between. But the TP2 series is a really good series of rods, and for 110 bucks, I mean, pretty dang good. But hopefully we pick up a big fish on this weed edge. I know they ought to be keyed on some shad in here. Like I said, the water temps, oh, that's grass. I thought we had one load up on it. Trying to stay right on this edge. And you know with a chatterbait, if anybody throws one, if you get grass on it, it's not going to work right. It's going to get on those on the front of the blade, and it's just going to keep it from working good. It's just going to kind of come through the water straight, and you're not going to get bit. You're not going to get bit. But hopefully we get some fish on this. I'm going to put my pole down real quick so I don't drift. Oh, there's one right there. There's one. All right. All righty. There we go. There's a little guy. He's fat though. Got him on that chatterbait. He bit it right at the boat. I mean, right at the boat. But nice little fish right there. Thank you, bud. This point right here, it comes off. It's like cypress trees that come off of it, and it comes off and comes out pretty far. But the lead edge where it drops off into the channel, a lot of times the fish get on that offside edge, and I think that's kind of where that fish probably came from. I think the edge is right here in front of me, and that fish bit it right at the boat as I stopped it. So I think they're right on the edge of this hydrilla line. And I'm going to just make some casts with them. Oh, golly. I'm pretty sure that was a bite. Whoo, yeah, I think it's some fish down there. That fish right then just absolutely smoked it. And the wind is blowing from behind me too, so it probably has some current going and has these fish set up on this edge. Just do up there into the grass. There we go. Always like to snap that rod like that and try to get that grass off. A lot of times you can trigger a bite like that. Keep casting off here a few times and see if we can get one off this point. I don't know if y'all can see beyond me, but it's another point out here in front of me, probably 100 yards in front. So we're going to work our way along this edge and get up to that and see if we can get bit there as well. In the fall, you never want to just bypass a point. It's an obvious spot where bait fish are going to get. They're going to get up here, get set up on it. They have a little shallow to deep drop off where they can get, and the fish like to get on it as well. It's a summertime thing too, but in the fall when the bait fish really, really group up big time, they really get on these points good. If you fish a big lake like say Gaston or Kerr Lake, Chesden, somewhere like that, in the fall, main lake points are going to be the deal. Now, the back of pockets are going to be really good too, because the shad migrate back into those pockets and the fish pull in behind them. So you're going to have fish in the backs of pockets as well, but you're always going to have fish on main lake points. So we're going to pick our talon up, and now we're going to work down this edge. I don't want to fish it too fast. I'm trying to be methodical. and work this weed edge. But also, I don't know, the fall can be weird. Like sometimes you need to fish super fast and cover as much water as you possibly can. And then sometimes it benefits you to really slow down and break an area down. So it's hard to say. Right now, I'm going to start off fishing a little bit methodical, or a little bit more methodical, a little bit slower. I'm not just going to burn down the bank with this chatterbait. I'm just kind of stay off the front edge in this little bit deeper water, 5 to 6 foot range. The flat is like 2 to 3 foot that has all the grass up there on it. And I know there's fish up there in the grass, but right now we're just going to kind of stay off of it a little bit and see if we can get bit on the outer edge, and we'll kind of go from there. See what we can figure out. That one fish bit it good, but he bit it all the way out of the boat, which kind of tells me that fish was probably off the bank just a little bit. So we're gonna just kind of work off this front edge. Probably gonna pick the buzzbait up, throw that some too. You know, if we don't get bit good off the bank, I'll probably pick that buzzbait up. Definitely could throw the spinnerbait and probably generate some bites as well. But I just wanted to start off with the chatterbait. So much grass. A lot of grass up there. It'll fool you sometimes when that chatterbait, especially with this blended rod, it'll fool you when that chatterbait gets into a pad or that grass. It'll load up on you pretty good, and it can fool you. But we're working that chatterbait through here, really popping it, seeing if we could generate a bite on this thing. I'm trying to keep it pretty high up in the water column. Got some pads right here in front of me. Bring it through. My phone is constantly going off. I got my cell cam sending me pictures. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the congrats on the win. That was a big deal. That was a big deal for me. That video will be coming out hopefully next week. It's going to be a 2-part video, and I want it to be really good. I wanted it to be edited like super good. So I'm going to take my time on it. But yes, I've caught one fish so far. I caught one fish on the chatterbait. Caught it maybe about 5 minutes ago, probably. So we're gonna work our way along this edge right here and see if we can get bit. I know there's some fish out here on this corner. I'm gonna drop my talon again. Set up on this point and make some cast out here off of it. Got some pads over here on the right along with the grass. I do got a jig up here on the deck with me as well. I don't throw the rage bug in this particular lake a lot. They don't tend to bite it all that good, except for like in the spring. But a jig, they bite a jig in here really good. So I do have a jig on the deck, and I might throw that out deeper if I have to. But I'm kind of looking at potentially picking up the buzz bait and throwing that. definitely thinking that the chatterbait should be good today. I'm probably going to cast some out off the end of this point as well. Cast some out here because I'm up on the shallow end right now, all the way up on the flat part. I'm looking at the bottom right here to my right, basically. We're just going to work right here and see if we can get bit. Looking, I do see on live scope, it looks like there's a couple fish out here off this point. I'm not targeting fish with live scope, specific fish, but just looking around as you're going, you can see them off the end of these points and kind of see where the groups of fish are. But I was hoping to pick up another one on this little shallow point right here, but I might pick up the buzzbait. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I thought that was a fish. It was in the grass. Whew, I was ready to smoke that sucker. Let me pick up the good old buzzbait right there. This was an absolute key player. No, I'm not in a tournament right now. I'm just out here fishing, just fun fishing today. I had my classic, which was a 2-day tournament last weekend, and I was able to pull off a big win. But that video is coming up soon. But key player in my win in the classic right there was with the buzzbait. We're gonna throw that a couple casts right here on this point and see if we can get one to come up on this. I mean, it's perfect for it. We got this good little chop on the water. Throw this and see if we can get bit on it on this point. Trying not to move too fast as we are fishing with the wind. Trying not to let the wind blow us along too fast. So let's see if I can get one to come up on the buzzbait, and I'm going to pick that chatterbait back up. Kind of surprised that I honestly didn't get bit on the chatterbait on this little point right here. Hopefully on that next point we get bit. It's a pretty good spot. And one thing about this particular body of water too is a lot of times the fish will be in certain areas. This is the same way as on a big lake or in the river or whatever. You just kind of got to figure out where they're at. But sometimes here they'll be, one end of the lake will be better than the other. They'll be biting better, or it just seems like there's more fish grouped up, more fish willing to bite, kind of that type of deal. So this is kind of one of those places. So I might not be getting bit here on this lower end, but on the upper end, it might be on fire, like on the dam end. So it just kind of depends. But we're gonna pick that chatterbait back up, and we're gonna work right here and see if we can get us a fish. And something else I don't think I said, but this Thunder Cricket is 3/8 ounce. So it's the 3/8 ounce tungsten Thunder Cricket, and it's the gold series. It has that gold blade on it. I love a gold blade. Some people prefer silver over gold. I really, really like the gold blade. I've always liked gold blades on my spinnerbaits, chatterbaits. I just feel like they just produce, if you take notice, the buzzbait that I throw always has a gold blade on it. I only throw the gold bladed buzzbait. That's it. So it's just a personal preference, but it's something that I have a lot of luck on and I have a lot of confidence in. So that's kind of why I stick with it. You know, obviously, if you have confidence in a silver blade or a silver bladed spinnerbait or a silver bladed chatterbait or buzzbait or whatever, then obviously throw that. You know, you want to throw whatever you have confidence in, but gold blade for me is a big deal. And I think it just pulls some bites a lot of times that maybe that silver will not pull. You know, earlier today, it was really cloudy this morning, really, really cloudy. Today, or right now, it has definitely, the skies have opened up and the sun has popped out, and it's very few clouds now. It's a few, but it's not like it was this morning. This morning, it was like, it took a while to even get light because it was so much cloud cover. But that's definitely changed from this morning. So that might have changed up the fish a little bit. You know, this morning they could have been really, really dialed in and biting good and feeding up. But there's certainly some fish out here that I know are going to be willing to bite. Let's see, my watch right now shows one fish. I'm looking at my KCO fishing watch, and it's showing one fish. It kind of shows fish on it 1 through 4 based off the moon phase and the feeding activity period for the day, and it's not showing it as being the best right now. And I'm gonna tell you, it's crazy, but this watch, I've worn one literally probably since I was 12. There's a fish. There's a fish right there. I stopped it. There we go. On that chatterbait. But I've worn one of these watches since I was probably like 12, 13 years old. And a lot of times it's correct. It's pretty crazy, but there we go. Right there. There's bass number 2. So got him on that Thunder Cricket. He was right here on the corner of this point. And when I stopped it, as I was talking, when I stopped it and it dropped, that fish ate it right there. So there we go. That's a pretty one. Probably, I don't know, he's like a pound and a quarter, something like that. So we're going to let him go right here on the edge of this point. Hopefully there's some more where he come from. He bit it out off the corner just a little bit. Once again, just right off out, you know, kind of off this corner of this point right here. And he bit it on the stop. The first fish I caught was the same deal. That fish bit it when I stopped it. So need to keep that in mind, because a lot of times these fish will follow your lure. They will follow your spinnerbait, follow your chatterbait. They'll follow it right up to the boat. And sometimes if you stop it, just that sudden stop will just make them react and bite it. So I'm hoping to definitely get one off the corner of this point right here. Hopefully a big one. We do got the net out today, believe it or not. So we probably won't catch a big one because we have the net out. Because y'all know I love catching big fish when I don't have the net out, and then I'm scrambling to try to get them in the boat. But this point right here is usually a pretty good point that produces pretty good. And I'm hoping one's going to jump on this chatterbait. I'm probably going to pick the buzz bait up and throw it right up there, kind of up tight, up around them pads, and see if I can get bit up there. I could pick the frog up too, but probably going to throw the buzz bait. But I'm going to throw this off. Oh, dang, I'm pretty sure that was a bite right there. I know it was. He took my dang tail off. Look at that. Took my tail off my chatterbait. Got to get another one of them real quick. All right, well, that might have been a small one, or maybe a crappie or something, but that was a bite. That was a bite. So we're going to get this rig back up. threaded on there. All right. If it was a big one, most likely he wouldn't have pulled the tail off. That was probably a smaller fish, but that was a bite. That was a bite. So, and something else y'all notice is I'm kind of stopping, and when I stop, I'm like kind of popping my rod tip up. And that's just because if I feel like it has a piece of grass on it or something, I'll kind of raise my rod tip and get it to kind of lift up kind of fast. And I'm just trying to pop that piece of grass or vegetation off of it. But also a lot of times that can trigger a strike as well. Like I was saying, if he's behind it and kind of following it, maybe he's a little bit indecisive, it'll help him make his mind up. Help him make his mind up. It's a little bit breezy. I'm just trying to make sure it's not going to blow my tripod over. That would be terrible. But I think this is one of the very few places that I fish that I actually have service good enough to where it's probably not going to like look bad and be laggy and all. So that's kind of why I took advantage of doing the live today. So I'm actually, okay, so this is actually a private lake. It's 120 acres. It's a big body of water. It's actually a big mill pond. And it's, you know, a lot of people have access to fish it, but it does get fished pretty hard, honestly. And I haven't been out here in probably 4 months, I would say, or so. So I don't really know what's going on. I'm thinking these fish should be on the fall bite, you know, bait fish, keying on bait fish, but I'm not seeing a lot of movement up shallow. I'm not seeing a lot of blow-ups. I'm not seeing just overall not a lot of activity. So I don't really know what's going on as far as the fish, you know, how they're acting, if they're up shallow, deep, or whatever. But that's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to break this body of water down. So we're going to keep on fishing and see if we can find them. We're going to see if we can find them and get bit. The chatterbait is, you know, a really good bait for this time of year. Personally, you know, and a body of water like this that has a lot of vegetation, I kind of maybe prefer a chatterbait over a spinnerbait a little bit, just because the vegetation gets hung in the blades of the spinnerbait so bad. And I mean, it really does. Right now I got enough on my chatterbait where it wouldn't work right, but you know, the chatterbait, you're kind of able to pop it and get it free, whereas a spinnerbait, a lot of times, once it gets on there, it's stuck in the blades and it just does not come out well. So we're gonna stick with the chatterbait for now and see if we can get bit on it. I'm gonna pick up that buzzbait right here in a second. I'm gonna throw up here shallow, see if I can get bit. See if I can get bit up shallow, and then we're gonna work our way down this right-hand side right here. I'm gonna throw one more cast with that chatterbait off this front edge right here. Threw right up there in that grass. That's the only thing. There we go. We popped it out. And a lot of times these fish will be sitting right on that edge of that hydrilla. They'll be sitting right there, and when you pop it out, they will eat it. So we're gonna pick that buzzbait back up. Something else is cool too. I mean, I see we've had up to 90 people on this live stream. This is definitely 100% my best viewed live stream ever. So that's pretty dang awesome. So I really appreciate everybody that's tuned in. And I'm going to throw this jig right here off this front right here. This wind is blowing me kind of quick over this point, but I could see there was a couple fish out here off of it, but I'm going to have that jig ready to fire off some points if I need it. But yeah, this is definitely my best live stream. So that's pretty cool that that I have that many people up here watching. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. There's buzzbait on this flat. This is a really, really shallow piece of a flat right here. This one comes like way out off this point, way off this corner. Let's see if we can get the buzzbait to work. You know, and the buzzbait's one of those things where if they're on it, and like if they're on it, like they're on it really, really good, and you really can't throw anything any better. And then sometimes, you know, they just won't bite it. Sometimes they just are not on top water. And if they're not on top water, you can't force them to bite. You cannot force a fish to bite a lure that they do not want to bite, or that for some reason on that particular day is not, you know, it's just not interesting to them. You know, they're just not in a mood to bite it. And that could be, you know, what the deal is with the buzzbait today. That could be what the deal is literally with almost every lure. You know, if the bite is off, and in the fall sometimes it can honestly be off, then it's just one of those tough days. It's one of those tough days. We have gotten 3 bites, I think, today. So we have gotten some bites, so that's good. So we're gonna see if we can get some more. We'll pick that thunder cricket back up and throw this right out here on the front of this weed edge. Ooh, there's one. That's a big fish. Oh my goodness, this is a giant. This is a giant, y'all. Oh my goodness, I hope this fish don't come off. This is a giant. Oh yeah. This is a big one. On live, don't come off, baby. Oh my goodness, this is a big, big one. Oh, I don't know how well he has it. I can see my chatterbait. Oh my goodness, this is a good fish. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Oh, y'all, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is a hog right here. My line's wrapped around my tip. Come here. Y'all check that one out right there. Man, it had the chatterbait a little bit better than what I thought. This fish is pretty skinny. Honestly, it's a pretty skinny fish for in here, but it's long. That is a long fish right there. Y'all check that beauty out right there. Man, that is a pretty one. I'll back up so y'all can see it. When that fish loaded up, I got to put my talon down so I don't drift over this flat. There we go. There we go right there. Absolute beauty. Man, I thought he was a little bit bigger than that. This fish is probably like 4.5 pounds, but super, super long. Super, super long. Got him on that thunder cricket, chartreuse and white. That is awesome. Little mouth on him right there. Pretty one. Let's let him go. Nice. Man, when that fish loaded up right then, loaded up, that blended rod just loaded so deep. I immediately knew that was a good fish. He was right here on this flat. This wind's blowing. And, you know, like I said, I was throwing up onto maybe about 5 foot. This flat is like 3 foot, and it comes off and drops into like 5-6 foot, and then it goes and drops into about an 8 or 9 foot channel. So, man, that is an awesome fish right there. And I'm just going to show y'all the setup right there. Like I said, this is just the thunder cricket. This is the gold blade right there, chartreuse and white with that paddle tail. That fish absolutely loaded up on it. Yep, that was a largemouth bass is what that was. About a 4.5, maybe a 4 3/4, but really long, lean fish. Really lean fish. Most of the time in here, they're super fat is what I wanted to say. But man, nice fish. All right, let's get back to fishing. That's awesome. That is awesome. That fish locked up on it when he bit. Oh my goodness, I don't know if that was grass or if that was, yeah, that was grass. Okay. Yeah, that was a nice fish. All right. That was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, he was right here, like really off that front edge and just loaded up on that chatterbait. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's a nice one. There's another nice one. Oh my goodness. Oh, get it here, babe. Oh my goodness. Look at that one. Check that out. Man, that fish smoked it right here at the boat. Another one for that thunder cricket. Oh man, this is awesome. Y'all check out that beauty right there. Just boat flipped him. That's a solid 3-pounder all day. Yes. That is awesome right there. Look at that. See, that was nice and fat. This is like the quality a lot of times of what you see in here, but man, that is a pretty one. That is a pretty one. All right. We're going to let him go. 3-pounder, almost like back-to-back cast almost. Man, that is awesome. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about right there. That fish bit it literally almost right at the boat. They're right on the front edge of this grass. They're right on the front edge of it. This is awesome right here, y'all. This is what you always hope for when doing a live. You always hope to catch fish like this and have a good day. And I'm gonna tell you what, we are right now. Kind of just popping it up right off the top of that grass. And these fish are probably sitting down in it and just ambushing this chatterbait as it comes by. Good stuff. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Not exactly sure whether the spinnerbait would be producing as good as this right now. It's hard to say because I'm obviously not throwing the spinnerbait, but man, I'm going to say right now the doggone thunder cricket is getting bit. So if you're going to head out and do some fall fishing, make sure you got an old thunder cricket tied on because it will catch them. It will catch them. And I'm throwing this. I got 15-pound test P-line C21 copolymer on here. You know, 15 pound to me is the perfect pound test for throwing a spinnerbait or a chatterbait. I even throw like my square bills on it. And I just think it's a really, really good, pound test. It's not too heavy. It's very manageable, but also it's light enough where you can cast it far and it doesn't give you a bunch of problems on your reel. And just that copolymer is like really good. It's very price very friendly as well. It's pretty dang cheap, to be honest with you. But I've thrown C21 for years and years and years, and it's some good stuff. It's some good line. So just throwing that out there. If you're looking for a good, cost-effective line, this is definitely one that you should be checking out. 100%. Definitely one you should be checking out. But man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Two solid fish, almost back to back. I was not sure how these fish were going to be biting or if they were going to be biting good. And I think we might have figured out the deal. Right here, kind of paralleling the front edge of this weed line, right here where it drops off into the deeper water at the edge of the channel, I think these fish are set up right on it. The other side kind of sets up the same as this side right here. It doesn't have as many points and all. It's a big flat that has the grass line on it. But this one just has like more points that go in and out, which I think helps the fish kind of set up on it a little bit better. The other side, you know, and the other side of the lake, a lot of times they'll set up on that really good as well. It's just hard to know. You know, sometimes they'll be on both, but a lot of times they're on one side a little bit better than the other. Just like, you know, just like out on a big lake or on a river or whatever, you know, a lot of times one side of the river is better than the other. One side of a pocket is better than another. You know, it's just something about these, you know, shorelines and all these little subtle differences make a difference. And that's kind of the same thing as here. So we're gonna keep on working along with the chatterbait for right now. I don't see any reason in getting away from this. That's for dang sure. I might have to get out of this hoodie here soon because it is starting to warm up pretty good right now. It is supposed to get up to 71 today. That breeze is what's really keeping it cool right now. But man, that's really cool to catch those good fish like that back to back. And I mean, we definitely have potential to get a really big fish. There's definitely potential to get a really big one, but every time I catch a fish on this rod, this blended TP2, every time I catch one on this chatterbait, I just love how that rod loads up and bends deep. It just, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people like a stiffer rod when they're throwing a chatterbait. They like a medium heavy or something like that. I know Kyle Welcher has said that he really prefers like a heavier action rod that he can really rear back on those fish and stick them, you know. But it's all in what you prefer and what you like. And you know, in this case, I like that rod to really load up and bend deep. And I've never had any issues with, you know, not hooking fish. So totally my preference. We have another little point right here we're sitting on, hoping to get bit again right here. This little, where's grass? This little edge right here. I'm going to kick out just a little bit to get out away from this grass right here. I'm going to try to stay right on this front edge. I can see the point of grass where it comes out. So I'm going to try to stay right on that edge. I really think that I could catch some fish on the spinnerbait, but I don't know. I kind of want to pick it up, honestly. Kind of want to pick it up just because the wind is blowing so hard and it's just perfect for it. But why would I do that when I've just caught a 4.5 and a 3-pounder back to back? You know, that would be kind of crazy, honestly. But that was a good little corner right there. Apparently it had probably some bait fish up there they had pushed up, and those bass were feeding. and they just that chatterbait come over their head and they just couldn't stand it. They had to eat it. So let me look and see what comments I got right here. I've caught 4 fish so far. Brian, the Fisherman Baker, what's up, man? How you doing? I hope everybody's doing good today. And let's see. I'm out here at first because you're fishing left-handed. Then it's flipped. So I have my camera or my phone flipped, so that's why it looks like I'm fishing probably left-handed. I'm not. It's the camera's facing me, so it has the image flipped. So that's what's going on there. Yeah, I'm not fishing left-handed. Honestly, I didn't realize that it was mirrored on a live, but yeah, I'm just fishing normal. I'm fishing normal. I'm using a regular right-hand retrieve reel bait caster, but yeah. Ooh, looks like a pretty good fish right here in front of me. I'm hoping to get a good one off the front of this weed edge right here, going along this straightaway. We're going to work right here to a main lake point, and it should have some fish on it. Like it should be pretty good. I'm hoping anyway, but I'm really hoping that we're going to pull a fish off the front of this weed edge as we work to this corner. And something else I like about this thunder cricket as well, this tungsten thunder cricket, is it gets really deep in the water column. So I'm throwing it on a 5:6 to 1 gear ratio reel, and that allows it to get deeper anyway, but it really gets deep down in that water column and gets down to that 6-7 foot range. And I really like it when you're able to get it deeper, because I think you're just able to pull some of those fish up off the bottom. Those fish will go and get it. You can reel it faster, keep it up in the water column, but I think a chatterbait that gets down a little bit deeper is super important, because I think it allows you to catch fish that you maybe would not catch on a chatterbait that rides very high in the water column. So that's one thing that I really like about the thunder cricket, especially this tungsten one. It really gets down pretty deep in the water column. So right here we're fishing. We're in 7.5 foot of water, and I'm pretty sure this bait is getting down there right in that 6 foot zone. So it's just up off the bottom. So those fish that are sitting on the bottom, maybe a little bit inactive or just chilling out or whatever, this thing comes over their head and they just come up and clobber it. So that's a really cool deal. But let's get us some fish. Let's get us another one. Let's get us another one. I'm hoping this corner is going to have a decent little group of fish on it. See if we can get one. It's a nice breeze today. Really beautiful fall day. I wouldn't mind it if it had a few more clouds in the sky, just to maybe keep those bass out, kind of roaming a little bit more. Really does help out. Sometimes helps out the chatterbait, spinnerbait bite, that moving bait bite. If you have a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit, more cloud cover. Once you get the sun out, these fish might push up tighter to the weed edge. They might kind of sink down to the bottom a little bit more. Maybe not bite quite as good as they were this morning, but obviously we have fish biting. So that's one cool thing about the fall is And really, any time of the year, really, but the fall can be really weird because the biting kind of windows can be morning, midday, afternoon. Like you really don't know. This is so based off of bait fish and just food and forage or whatever. All it takes is a ball of shad to get fired up and the bass start running through them and all, and it can be midday or whatever. It don't even matter. And if you're able to be there and get your bait on top of them, especially something that mimics a shad or bait fish, I mean, you're probably going to get bit out of that school of fish. So that's one cool thing about the fall. Obviously, that can happen any time of the year as well. But in the fall, those fish are trying to feed and fatten up, and they get wild. They get pretty dang aggressive. Fall fishing sometimes can be feast or famine. It can suck horribly, or it can be some of the. That's one right there on this corner. That's a little one. Yep, that's a little one. But we got him today. Oh, that's Mr. Pickerel. Oh, he come flying off. Come here, bud. Mr. Slimy right there. Yep, he was up there on that corner. But yeah, fall can be feast or famine. It can be great, or it can be not so great. I've had some great days, and I've had some days that, man, they were horrible. Like, they were really, really bad. So we're gonna see if we can get some more big ones. Yep, need that big one to hit. Yeah, I caught a 4.5 pounder a few minutes back. So hopefully we can get another big one. And who do we got here? Let's see. Yep, let's see if we can get another. Oh, I thought that was a bite right there. It wasn't. It was right here on the front of this grass edge right here. But I'm definitely thinking we should get bit right here. So let's see if we can get us another one. I might pick up that spinnerbait. Maybe. I don't know. We're sitting in 7.5 foot of water right now, right off the front of this weed edge. This point comes out good. So I'm thinking that there should be some fish on this point. I'm going to launch this thing out there and see if we can get bit. I don't want to blow me over the point too fast. This lower end right here where I'm at is definitely a little bit more stained than the upper end where I started. It was a lot clearer on that upper end. It's a little bit more stained here. Not bad. It just has a little stain to it. That shouldn't hurt a thing. Shouldn't hurt a thing. I'm gonna throw out here. Looks like there's a couple fish out here chilling off this point. There's actually a really big fish actually right here chilling off this point. Let's see if we can. Oof. He came after my chatterbait right then. That was a good fish. But we're not out here targeting fish with the old scope. We're working along. Oh my goodness, that's a good one. Oh, he just come off. Oh no, that was a hammer. That was an absolute tank. My drag stripped for some reason. Oh no. That was a big fish. That's no good. Why was I didn't loosen my drag when I caught that 4.5. I don't know why my drag stripped so bad right then. Oh man, that fish was heavy. Whew. Hate I missed that one, y'all. That fish had some weight to it. My goodness. That was a heavy fish. Dang. Well, can't get him back. Can't get that bite back, but I'm gonna tell you what, that was a good one. That was a good one. I don't know if y'all could hear my drag rip. I got my drag pretty tight. I mean, that fish was so heavy that when I loaded up into him, it stripped. I mean, that was a big fish. Dang. I see him right there. I'm going to drop my pole. I don't even know if, yeah. I'm going to put the jig on him, just see if he'll bite it, because, man, that is a big fish right there. Man, I don't think he wants it. He's down there looking at it, but I'm going to tell you what, that's probably the fish that honestly bit my chatterbait. I mean, it's probably a 5-6 pounder, just based off, you know, how it looks on live scope. But man, really hate that I lost that fish, because woo, that was a good one. All right, we're gonna keep working along. We ain't gonna cry over him. Obviously, there's some pretty good fish that are willing to bite, so we're gonna keep on going. But yeah, that was a good one. Chatterbait is getting bit. Oh, there's one. That's a smaller one. But we got him though. He was way out there. He was way out there. Come here, bud. There we go. He's probably like maybe a quarter of the size that I just hung. Yeah, that was a good fish that I just lost. I'm telling you, that thing stripped my drag like crazy. I mean, I don't know what happened there. I really don't know what happened, but something did, because I don't keep my drag loose on my chatterbait rod, so I don't really know. I don't know what the deal was there, but we just did not hook him good for some reason. But I mean, I think that's bass number 5 that we just caught right then. So I mean, that's pretty good. We haven't even been doing live that long, so I'm pretty happy with that. 4.5 pounder, a 3 pounder, like, that's good stuff. I think I might work my way over to that other side and fish down that other flat and see if we can get bit on that. Like I said, it kind of sets up the same as this, but it's a little bit different, but it does kind of set up the same. I've caught a lot of big fish on that other flat, so hopefully we can do the same thing over there. Yeah, I'm really hoping that we get us another good one. This water, like I said, definitely has more of a stain to it than on the other end of the lake where we started. I mean, you're only talking about, like, I don't know, maybe 400 yards we just fished, maybe 300, 400 yards, somewhere in there, but it's definitely a difference in the watercolor. Definitely a difference in the watercolor. Keep on working along this edge right here. This is getting a little bit deeper part of the lake right here on this lower end. Still has grass in it, grass all along the edge in the shallower areas, but the deeper spots have you know, no hydrilla, or no, it's not even hydrilla. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it has no grass in it. So I'm able to really focus on the edges right here, because it's really sharp drops where it comes from the weed edge and drops off down into the channel. So it's kind of a pretty good, obvious area. I'm up there in the grass right now, but there's a pretty good, ooh, a fish just, oh, they just came up chasing some shad right here in front of me. I don't know if y'all can see that, but some shad just came up. I don't know if it's crappie out here off this corner right here on this point, or bass. I'm sure some bass up here. Trying to see where this edge is for this grass right here. There's a couple of fish right here. We're gonna throw the jig. Just throw the jig on them real quick and just see what they do. That one went down on it pretty good. It went down on it. Didn't eat it. That's what happens a lot of times. You know, scoping some fish, and you know, I'm not that scoper guy. You know, I'm not that guy. A lot of times what will happen is, if I'm fishing along like I am now, I will, you know, if I see a fish or see a couple fish in front of me, I might pick the jig up, throw to them, you know, pick something up, throw to them, kind of target them real quick, see if they bite it. You know, if they don't, then I keep kind of moving on. I'm not the guy that just sits there and stands there with the minnow shaking the whole time. You know, I will catch them like that if I have to, but you know, that's not my deal. That's not my kind of fishing. I've caught some big fish with it, but I would much rather be doing this right here, throwing a buzz bait, throwing a chatterbait. You know, that's what I love doing. I like fishing fast. I like power fishing. I like moving along, you know, and just, that's my deal. Now, if they're slam dialed in, you know, doing that, that's one thing, you know, but I don't like wasting a lot of time. I don't like wasting a lot of time when I'm on the water. I want to feel like I'm being productive. I want to feel like I'm fishing productive water the whole time. And a lot of times for me, that comes from moving around a lot, throwing baits that you know, come through the zone kind of quick, you know, flipping a lot of trees, a lot of cypress trees, treetops, all of that. You know, I'm that power fishing guy. I like to power fish. That's what I like doing. So we're gonna fish up here to this corner right here, up here on this edge, and then we're gonna work probably down that other edge back there behind us. We're gonna be a little bit more off the bank, probably on the other shoreline, because that hydrilla edge comes out a little bit further, but we might throw the buzzbait up on it a little bit farther if we have to. But I think right now, just with getting the big bites that I've gotten on the chatterbait, I think I'm probably going to stick with this for the most part. 100%. I think I'm gonna stay with this. So I definitely think that we should be able to get a fish off this corner right here on this point. I hope so. Anyway, and then if we don't, we're probably going to jump back over here over our shoulder to this left shoreline. But I might pick the jig up and throw it off this corner right here in this deeper water, maybe. Just see if we can get one to bite. Just dragging that a little bit. But we're in 9 foot of water right now. So this is the deepest water that we have fished. Oh, oh, dang it. I don't know if that was a bite or if that was grass. I don't think that was grass. Wind is starting to pick up. I don't have one of them little muff things for my mic, so I need to buy some. So hopefully it don't get too bad as far as sound quality. but I'm thinking I might pick the jig up and throw around these treetops. There's a couple treetops right here on the right hand side. I might throw the jig around them real quick, and then we'll probably jump over to the other side and see if we can get another fish to bite. Definitely seeing like some fish kind of down on the bottom there. I'm gonna throw the jig up here to this treetop, and I'm throwing my jig. I'm throwing the ball head jig. I'm throwing that on the mock crush. So this is the 7-foot medium heavy. This is the one that I like throwing it on, and it's just I have 20-pound test P-line fluorocarbon on there, and that's my setup. So that's what we're rocking with on this. And Born Again, what's up, man? How you doing? I appreciate you checking in to the live stream here. We're not doing bad. We're catching some fish, and we're having a good time. We're having a good time. I'd like to get a jig fish, rear back and set the hook with the jig while I throw that out there and let that sink to the bottom. We're going to get a sip of Mountain Dew real quick. All right. Maybe I'll pick up on it and want to be done swam off with it. Nope. He did not, but that's okay. I know there's definitely going to be some fish right here along this weed edge right here. They're right here off this corner. I'm hoping to, maybe get a big one to bite this jig, but they might be completely dialed in on that chatterbait, maybe that moving bait bite. It's hard to know. It's hard to tell. It's a lot of days you can catch fish on multiple baits. It's just like one little bait or one little technique could be the difference maker for that particular day. Like you could catch, like a 25-pound limit on a jig, and then you would catch a 15-pound limit on a chatterbait. It just kind of depends on, what the bigger fish are keying in on, what technique they're keying in on. A lot of times, multiple different techniques produce fish within a given day. It's just a lot of times which one is producing the bigger fish, which one is the bigger fish paying more attention to, which one is not just looking at it and they're actually biting the lure. That's kind of what you're trying to figure out as you're fishing along. Because I might only catch one fish on a jig, but it might be a 6-pounder. So that's one of those things. And throughout the course of a 9-hour day, you might only catch 5 fish, but they're all bigs. Whereas on the chatterbait, you might would have caught 25 fish, but they weren't giants. So it's one of those things. And figuring out a bass is one of the hardest things to do. I mean, just really figuring out a pattern is one of the hardest things to do in bass fishing. And once you figure out the pattern, the catching part that's one of the easier parts, once you figure them out. But figuring them out, doggone, that's the hard part. But that's why I love it. That's why most of you all watching this right now love bass fishing, is figuring them out, dialing them in. And once you figure them out and figure that bite out, and you figure out where the fish are at, what they're biting, what pattern they're on and all that, that's the reward. Like that's the reward of fishing. That's the fun part. Then you get to reap the rewards, especially in a tournament. Oh, that's a good bite. There's one on it. Got him on the jig. Oh, that's a nice one. Off this treetop. Yep, that's a nice one right there. Come here, baby. Oh, yeah, yes. What y'all think of that one right there? That's a dang pretty one on that treetop. Get off there. Man, we pegged him. He bit it off that treetop. I mean, he was not coming off for nothing. We got to get our pliers. Get it out of him. There we go. There we go, right there. Y'all check that one out. On the jig. On the jig. First jig fish right here. Threw up to a lay down. That fish came out and ate it a solid 2 3/4. Solid 2 3/4. Man, pretty fish right there. All right. Thank you, bud. That's awesome. Yep. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate all the support. That fish was right here on this lay down. I'm gonna turn so y'all can see it. I'm gonna turn so y'all can see this lay down. I threw right up there behind it, and that fish just thumped the jig. Throw a couple more casts on it right here, but I don't know if y'all can see this lay down right here over my shoulder. Right here. I'm pointing at it right there. He was right up underneath that. I threw the jig up there right off the edge of that drop off, and he bit it as I was coming out from underneath of it. Good fish right there. Nice. That was awesome. Pretty sure it's another one probably down there, but that was a good fish. That was a good fish. I mean, we done caught some solid ones. We have done caught some solid ones on this live. That's what I'm talking about. That's fun. That's good stuff right there. Man, I don't know whether to keep, there's no more laydowns along this edge right here, but I don't know whether to keep going down this side and throwing the jig, or if I want to, or if I want to, pick the chatterbait back up and jump over to the other side of that flat, or what. I'm not 100% sure. I might go down right on this edge just a little bit more with this jig and throw it. And this is basically it's a finesse jig. I mean, it's a finesse jig with a Rage Scoundbug trailer on it. I'll show it to y'all right here in a second. But it's basically like a blue crawl color, and they just, I don't know, they bite. Blue crawl is the color. I mean, blue crawl is what's up. I love that color. You get that green pumpkin with those blue hues to it, and it's really, really good. We got a little bit of grass on it here, but that's it right there. I got the leg sprayed a little bit chartreuse, but it's that Rage Scoundbug trailer, just that ball head jig right there. Water temps right now are 65 degrees. They've came up about 1 degree since we've been here, and I'm out here on a mill pond. It's a 120 acre mill pond. So it's a cool little place that I'm able to fish. It has some good quality fishing. I've fished it all my life, but yeah, that right there, that jig, that's a pretty one right there. We're gonna see if we can get another one. I couldn't decide today if I wanted to go to the river or not. Honestly, I wanted to go to the river, or I even thought about going to Gaston. And the only reason I didn't is because during my 2-day tournament this past weekend, I did not realize that one of my tires was pretty badly worn on my trailer, and the inside of the tire has the belt showing. So I could not go very far. I got to get another tire and get it on my trailer pretty soon, because I don't want to be doing a whole bunch of long hauling with that bad boy, because I don't want to blow out. A quick funny story: when I bought my Ranger that I have, that I'm fishing out of right now, I drove all the way to Florida to go pick it up. Me and my wife, we drove all the way to Florida to Aquatech Marine in Palm Bay, Florida to go buy it. And when I was on the way home, me and her were on the way home, we literally had not left the boat dealership. It was like 30 minutes into our trip. We're rolling down 95. We're trying to get home. We literally drove 12 and a half hours down there, just straight down there to go buy the boat and pick it up and come back. And we were on the way back. We hadn't even been on the interstate 30 minutes, and the tire blew out on the trailer. The only blowout I've ever had on a trailer, and it blew out on 90. Ooh, I just felt like I got bit. Ooh. Okay. That felt like a thump, but I guess maybe it wasn't. Okay, but anyway, the only blowout that I've ever had was on 95, pulling this boat home, and that was no fun. So I don't want to have another blowout, but it was like 400 degrees too, not to mention it was like so hot. It's not even funny. I mean, it was, oh my goodness, it was hot. But yeah, but that was a pretty funny story. I'll never forget it. I know my wife will never forget it. And, you know, the rims, I didn't know it, but like the rims that were on the trailer, the lug nuts were like kind of inset into the wheels. So my socket that I had on my lug wrench would not take the lugs off. And FDOT came and gave me a hand. I had a jack and everything, but they came and gave me a hand and gave me a socket so I could use it. So that was rough, but I think we're going to get right and get over on the other side and fish that other side with the chatterbait and see if we can get bit on that, because we're just not getting, well, we did get that really good bite on the jig, that fish that we just caught, but not a lot of bites kind of to go around right now in this deeper water. So we're gonna switch up and get back on that other side, probably fire the motor up, idle over to that other side real quick. But I'm gonna throw one up on the corner of this point and see if we can get bit right there real quick, and then we're gonna make a move and we'll fish back down that other side, see if we can catch some fish on the chatterbait, maybe even the buzzbait maybe, and then we'll probably, you know, at that point maybe conclude the live. But man, this has been pretty awesome for as many people to watch as have watched, because at one point, like I said, I mean, I had like 90 something people watching at one time. Like I've never had 91, I believe it was, people watching, 91 viewers on live. That was amazing. So if y'all like the lives, y'all like me doing the lives, be sure to let me know, because I will try to do some more. The only problem is, like I've said, is a lot of times I don't have a lot of, you know, I don't fish a lot of areas that have good service. So it makes it really, really hard for me to, you know, do a live, because it's going in and out, service is bad, it's lagging, you know, nobody wants that. So, so I took the opportunity here while I knew I had pretty good service to do a live. But we're going to jump over here to this corner. I don't know whether to fish, you know, I thought about fishing all the way up here to the dam, but I think I'm going to jump over on this other side and work it with the chatterbait real quick and get over here. Tell you what, we're gonna fire we're gonna fire the motor up real quick, and it's literally, we're gonna go right over here to this side. So we're gonna idle over there. It's gonna be like 30 seconds, and we'll be right back on the front of the boat casting. So we're just gonna ease right over here to this corner. I'm gonna start off kind of on this point. I know the camera's probably a little bit shaky idling over here, but yeah, we're just going to work right over here to this corner and work back over to the left there. See if we can pick up another big one. Water's 10 foot right here. We're going to come up here on a flat and just work our way along this side. See if a big fish wants to bite. I would love to get another big fish. That would be awesome. I hate we lost that other one that loaded up on the chatterbait, because man, that was a good one. But we're gonna work right over here. This is another good corner as well right here. So we're gonna get up here and probably, being this is a little bit deep right here, probably gonna just start off throwing the jig up here on this point. Throw this, and then once we cut off to the left right here, we're gonna pick that chatterbait back up. But this little grass edge right here typically is pretty good for the jig. It has some stumps on it. You can catch them on a chatterbait here as well, but we're just gonna throw the jig to start with. I can kind of see that start of the weed edge up there. Right off here kind of leads up into a main lake pocket off here to the right hand side, kind of on the upper end of the lake right here. But we're gonna work our way down off to the left instead of straight up into that pocket. There's a lot of, I can see them on the scope, there's a lot of crappie right here on this corner. Kind of right off the edge of this grass. Looks like a school of crappie up there. And these fish feed heavily on those crappie as well. And I think that's a reason why some of these fish in here are so healthy, is they have a really good forage base of shad and crappie to feed on. So let's pick that chatterbait back up. Get that thing back going. Work along the edge of this grass right here. See if we can get old Big Mama to eat. Oh yeah, I see that grass edge now. I couldn't see it at first. See it now. My trailer is a little bit messed up. I think I'm gonna have to get another trailer. Looks like it's pulled down just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, it is just a little bit. Let's see if we can. Yeah, we're gonna have to get another one real quick. All right, let's grab another trailer. If I can get it out of here. Tail end stuck in there. There we go. All right. And this is the trailer right here that I'm throwing. This is the mock player in the Tennessee shad. So that's what I'm throwing on the back of my chatterbait. So a little 3.5-inch trailer, really, really good for the back of a chatterbait, back of a spinnerbait, or a standalone. But like I was saying earlier, it has that really thin section that goes to that boot tail. That's what allows it to kick and flap so good, is that little tail right there. So let's get that on. Let's get that threaded on right here, and let's see if we can keep on going and catch some more big fish. Definitely have potential on this side to get another biggin. That's definitely what we're hoping for. Yeah, we're just going to work down and see what we can figure out. You know, we kind of established that there's definitely a chatterbait bite going on, and that the fish are set up on the very, very, very front edge of the weeds. You know, right there on that front edge. Really good ambush point. They're set up on it, coming out, probably eating shad, bluegill, crappie. You know, and that's kind of how they tend to set up in a lot of lakes. That weed edge is a good, definite spot to kind of just really set them up. And whenever you're fishing, you want to pay attention to that. So if you have, you know, lily pads, if you have hydrilla, milfoil, some other type of grass on whatever lake you're at, you know, a lot of times that edge, that defined edge on the front of it is going to be where a lot of fish set up at. They love to set up, back up right up to the edge of those weeds, and they use that as an ambush point. You know, they want to hide from those smaller fish and from the bait fish. You know, bass is a predator. He's set up, he's hiding just like a coyote or a fox, you know, chasing his prey or whatever. He wants to be out of sight, and he wants to be just chilling. And when he's ready to ambush, he's going to come out and attack. That's the way bass are built. They're a predatory fish, and they're going to ambush. They're going to ambush prey. They learn how to do that from when they're small all the way through their whole life. So that's why, you know, bass set up in treetops and stuff like that. I mean, obviously it provides cover for them, but also, you know, it's an ambush point. It's a spot where they can set up and they can just come out of it and eat whatever they're eating. Crawdads, you know, bait fish, whatever. Got a little bit of grass on here. The wind right here is pretty calm. We're right here on the backside of this point. So it's very, very calm. So I don't know if we're gonna get any in this calmer area right here. We might, but not 100% sure. Definitely should be some fish set up on this point up here in front of us though. You know, something else that could have worked today and might work would be a lipless. A lot of people have a lot of confidence in a lipless crankbait. And a lipless crankbait in the fall honestly does catch a lot of fish. It honestly catches a lot of fish. I don't throw it a ton. I'm not a big lipless guy. Some people absolutely love throwing a lipless. I like throwing a lipless in February and March is when I really like to throw a lipless crankbait. I don't throw it much in the fall. Just have never thrown it a lot in the fall. It will certainly catch fish though. It will definitely catch fish, but I just have not had a ton of luck on it in the fall, so I just tend to stick with the spinnerbait, chatterbait, you know, square bill, deeper diving crankbait, bait fish imitations, you know, stuff like that. Of course, in the river, I'm flipping, throwing the buzz bait. Y'all know that. If I was in the river, I'd be throwing the buzz bait like crazy today. It's a perfect day for it. One thing I will say is, I don't know if y'all can see the sky right now, but like the clouds have really disappeared. They have really, oh, there's one little guy. But the clouds have really dissipated over the last, I mean, even the last 30 minutes. They've really gone away. Little guy right there. It's a pretty one. I mean, 3/4 of a pound, but hey, we'll take it. We will take him. Bit that old thunder cricket. See if we can get another one. He was right here on this corner. So set up right inside this kind of inside edge of this point right here. See if we can get us another one to bite. I'm running my dash cam GoPro and I forgot to reset it on that really nice fish I caught earlier, which was kind of a bummer, to be honest with y'all. That way I could have shared that on Instagram or Facebook or something, but it's all good. Y'all got to see it on live. There ain't nothing no better than that. Get to see some good fish catches on live, unedited. It's pretty cool. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that has tuned into this live. It's definitely been one of my most successful lives, I would say, for sure. But I just literally just watched two fish just follow the chatterbait out of the edge of that grass right there. So I just picked up the jig and threw it up there. They definitely could have been crappie, but it was two fish. I looked down and saw that it was a couple fish coming out. I'm definitely thinking that we should be able to get one on this point. I really want to go over to that other point right across the lake where I lost that big one that stripped my drag so much, man. I can't believe it. That's literally like the only fish that I've hooked up on that I did not catch, and that was a hammer. That was an absolute brute. I mean, but we might get another one of those to bite. I hope we do. Staying right off the front of this weed edge. Working up here to this corner. So stick up here to my left. I'm gonna fish this point right here really, really good with this chatterbait because I know it's some fish up here on it. It's a really good main lake point. Typically, it's a lot of fish on this point right here. I've caught some big ones on it. We're in 8 foot of water right now, and that point comes up to basically almost nothing. So those fish kind of slide up and down on it to feed. Sometimes it can be really good. Sometimes, you know, just like anything else, it might not be good, but hopefully it wants to give us a fish today. Once I start going down this right-hand shoreline, I'm gonna kind of stay off a ways. Like I was saying earlier, I got to stay off of it a pretty good ways just because of the way the weed line comes way out. So I got to stay off the front of it and just cast up to the weed line or right off the front edge of it and see if I can get those fish to trigger. There's a good bass right here off this corner. Looks like I'll throw this jig up here and work it off this side of this point. A lot of times I catch a lot of fish on the big worm, a big, 10 or 12 inch worm on this point right here. A lot of times the bass will set up off of it and you can catch them on it pretty good. But right now it looks like there's just a massive wad of crappie out off the end of it is what it looks like to me. I'm going to put the jig off the end of it though and see if we can get bit. Yeah, there's a big school of crappie sitting off the end of this point right out here at the edge of the channel. There's a bite. Oh goodness, that's a big one. That's a big one on the jig. Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my goodness. This is huge. Oh my goodness, this is a 10-pounder. I'm not lying. Oh my goodness. Oh my, this is, there's no way. There's no way, y'all. This fish is huge. Come here, please don't come off. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, y'all just watch me live catch an absolute giant. Look at that fish right there. This fish is huge. This fish is an absolute giant that I just caught. Look at that fish. Look, he just ate that jig. Look at the mouth on him. Oh my goodness. We're going to weigh this fish and see how much he weighs. This thing is huge. Oh my goodness. Y'all look at that fish right there. I cannot believe that I just caught this giant on live. Oh my goodness, I can't even get the jig out. This is an absolute tank. I had him pegged. This fish's head is huge. Oh my. Look at that. That is an absolute monster. All right, we're going to weigh him. We're going to weigh him real quick. I think this fish is going to be 7 something. I think. Oh my goodness. If I can get it in his lip. Hang on, let's see. Dang, he ain't quite as big as I thought. 6 pounds, 12 ounces. 6 pounds, 12 ounces. That is an absolute giant. I'm having a hard time even believing that that's right, because wow. I've caught a lot of pretty big fish, and I'm going to be honest with y'all. That sucker is a hammer. Let's check him one more time, and then we're going to let him go. Yeah, he's 6'12". Y'all just watch me catch a 6 pound, 12 ounce. 6 pound, 12 ounce, absolute giant right there. Y'all look at that one, 6 pounds, 12 ounces, absolute mule. All right, y'all, we're going to let it go. What a tank. What a tank. Oh my goodness. All right. Right there. What an absolute beauty. I got to turn this so my camera's on me good. That is a freaking tank. All right, there we go. Giant. Thank you, girl. There she goes. There she goes. Man, what a giant fish. Oh man, it says service not the best. This is the worst time ever. I just let that fish go. How's service now? Is it better? Somebody let me know. Is service better? I hope it is. 6 pounds, 12 ounce giant. I'm gonna tell y'all what. I don't know what our total would be right now, but I'm gonna tell you what, man, we would have a pretty doggone good bag. That's for sure. We would have a pretty good bag. Did everybody get to see that catch? Is everybody that's up here? Did y'all get to see that catch? I hope you did. I hope the service wasn't bad. Was the service good when I caught it? Dang it! That's like the worst time ever for service to mess up on me. That's not good. That was a tank. All right, cool. Okay, so y'all got to see that fish. All right, man, what an absolute beast. Got him on that jig, y'all. Got him on that jig setup right there. That finesse jig with that crawl on there. That Strike King Scound Bug. Man, it's better now. What was it buffering when I caught that fish? Was it buffering when I caught that fish? I hope it wasn't. Man, what a tank. 6 pounds, 12 ounces. That was a beast. When I came up, I could feel that fish swimming off that point, swimming off to the left. And man, that was awesome. That fish was only like, the thing about it is, that fish was so big, it was built so big. That's what threw me off. The mouth and the head and everything was so big, but that fish was not long at all. Like the fish was short. That fish was like maybe a 21-inch fish. It was just an absolute giant. It was an absolute giant. So I forgot. I'm so pumped up. I forgot what question I asked. Was it? Okay, y'all saw it. Okay, good. All right, sweet. Whew. That was a hammer. That was a tank, y'all. That was awesome. Up here on this point, I was just saying that a lot of times I get bit and catch some pretty good fish off this point, and dang if I didn't just catch a tank. That was awesome. That was awesome. Let's see if we can get another one. Dang, I'm gonna fish down this side with the chatterbait. Man, what a nice fish. I am absolutely pumped. That jig, that's what I was saying earlier. If anybody was watching earlier when I was talking about differentiating the bites as far as, you know, big fish to smaller fish and catching more fish on one bait versus catching less fish on another bait, but the fish are just bigger. That's a good example of it. You know, the two fish that I caught on the jig, and I've only caught two, you know, the two fish I caught were really good ones. You know, one almost 3 pounds and then one almost 7 pounds. And it just, sometimes a bait gets bit more than another bait. You know, it's just the way it works, you know, and like it might get bit more by more fish in general, but then the other bait might get bit less, but it's bigger fish. So, and the jig, of course, the jig is known for catching absolute tanks anyway, especially once you get into the fall like it is right now. And I'm going to tell you what, that was a beast. That was a doggone hammer right there. 6 pound, 12 ounce, absolute giant. That was awesome. That was awesome. All right, let's keep going. And to do it on live, that was super cool. That was super cool. We done caught a 4.5. We done caught a 6 3/4. Done caught some threes. Man, good stuff. Good stuff. We're going to pick that chatterbait back up. I just wanted to throw that jig up on that point, and I tell you what, I'm glad I picked it up because that was a beast. Man, awesome. All right, let's keep working down this edge right here. We're just going to work right along the front of this weed edge, see if we can get bit. Definitely thinking that we should be able to catch another fish or two on the chatterbait for sure off this front. But we're going to work along and see if we can get some more bites. I definitely probably could just continue to work this edge with the jig, honestly, and probably catch some. It's really kind of hard to say, but you never really know. Oh, I was up in the grass. I thought I was getting bit. You never really know, but definitely, you know, a point is an obvious spot. You know, it's an obvious spot to catch bass on, for big bass to be, and dang if we didn't just catch a big. We just caught a biggin, released it safely in the water. She swam off strong, and just what a tank. What an absolute tank. That was a unit. We're going to work along here on this front of this edge. I'm trying to make sure that I'm staying, you know, off the front of this hydrilla because, or, you know, this grass line, because I don't want to just be throwing up in the grass the whole time. Because then you risk your retrieve and your cast being completely messed up if it lands in the grass, because then if you get a piece of stubborn grass on it that doesn't want to come off, then you're just kind of, that's a wasted, you know, cast. So you always want to maximize the time that your lure's in the water. So you want to make sure that your stuff is working right. Like I said, that's the only thing when you're throwing around a lot of grass, especially like stringy grass. Oh, there's a giant fish right there. I didn't see that other one that I caught, but I see this one. And this one has zero interest in it. It's funny how, you know, everybody talks about live scope and, you know, fish, you know, you catch every fish you see, this, that, and the other. I mean, I can tell you, as somebody who uses it or has used it and uses it, that's not the truth. That's not the truth at all. I mean, there's a huge percentage, massive percentage of fish you throw at that do not bite. I mean, don't even look at your bait. Don't even care. There's always going to be that one magical day where everything lines up perfectly and you're getting bit constantly. I mean, there's going to be days like that, but you know, typically that ain't the way it works. That ain't the way it works. So by forward facing sonar and every day is good. Well, that's not the truth. I'm definitely going to go. I'm going to go against that. I'm going to go against that because as somebody who uses it, I haven't caught any fish today using it at all. But as somebody that has used it and all, man, forward facing sonar, it's amazing technology. I will tell anybody it's amazing technology, but it is not a guarantee by no means. It is not a guarantee by no means. So the live isn't over. Did I lose connection? The live shouldn't be over. I don't know if this wind or something is messing with service. I don't know. Can y'all see me now? Saying did the live in. I see a bunch of people have quit watching. I don't know if I lost service or what. Hopefully it picks back up. I'm in Virginia. I'm in Virginia is where I'm at. Hopefully the live just picked back up. I hope it didn't kick out and kick everybody off, because I'm just trying to fish down this one side, and if I can get down this one side and everything stay good, I'm gonna call it quits. But that was awesome to catch a fish like that. That's just an absolute tank. I mean, if that fish was any longer, 23, 24 inches, that's a 9-10 pound fish. I mean, that is a 9 or 10 pounder. Absolute unit of a fish. That thing was built like a tank. I'm going to work up to this edge a little bit closer. See if we can get another one. Another one on here. Yeah, I mean, I have my reserves when, you know, talking about forward-facing sonar. I mean, I have my thoughts and feelings on it. You know, I don't, in professional fishing, you know, it's just my personal opinion. I feel like if you're a professional and you're the best out there, then, you know, should you really be using it? I don't really know. I mean, who am I to say? I'm not a professional, but, you know, I do think that Bass and BFLs and all that, MLF, I think they've made great strides to kind of leveling the play field. So I do kind of agree with that. A lot of people don't. You know, a lot of people don't, but I don't know. That's just my feelings on it. Like I said, by no means is forward-facing sonar a guarantee. A lot of people don't like it. I get it. I get it 100%. I don't like using it either. I just won my 2-day classic. Didn't catch a single fish with it. Haven't caught a single fish with it today. And that's how I like it. That's how I like it. Do I look at it? Yeah, I look at it. I look down at it. See where, you know, fish are set up or whatever. But that, I mean, I'm not specifically targeting fish, like one fish by themselves, like a lot of guys do with, you know, maybe the jig head minnow or something like that. But we're going to keep on fishing, throwing this chatterbait out here in front of this grass right here. Hopefully we get bit. I'm definitely not, you know, feeling this shoreline quite as much as I was feeling the shoreline on the other side. I will be honest. But I definitely think there's some fish here. I just don't know if they're going to be set up quite as good as the other shoreline, which has, I'm pretty sure that was a fish. I'm pretty sure that was a fish. But I just don't know if they're going to be set up quite as good on this shoreline. But I'm almost like 99% sure that that was a fish right there, like 100%. Yeah, NPFL, look, hey, honestly, I watch them too. They are a great organization. I think they've made great strides to move forward without using forward-facing sonar. I think that's a super cool deal. Taking it back old school, the way it all began, the way it's meant to be. Hey, I get it. You know, NPFL gained a lot of fans by doing that. And I watch, really the only thing I watch now is NPFL as well. I watched several events last year, NPFL events. I live streamed them and watched them. And they got it going on. They got it going on. You know, like I said, I know BASS, you know, they changed up the schedule this year and did some different stuff with the forward facing sonar, you know, to try to make it more viewer friendly and all. I get it. A lot of people were upset about it. Like, why? I mean, this is just an organization trying to do the right thing, trying to appeal to both, you know, forward facing sonar fans and non forward facing sonar fans. They're trying to appeal to both. So, I mean, I get it. I don't know why really, you know, a lot of people just get tore out the frame about it. But they do. They do. I don't know. I just love fishing. I like fishing, and I'm very, you know, oh goodness, I just got bit again, y'all. I'm very, you know, blessed right now that, you know, people watch my videos and my content, and that there's people watching this live stream right now. I mean, that's amazing. Ooh, that was weeds. That was not a fish. I mean, some of y'all just got to see me catch almost a 7-pounder. Like, that's amazing. Call an absolute giant. So maybe we can get one more good fish. I would really like it if we could get one more fish, you know, like a 3-pound class fish would be really cool on the chatterbait. That would be really nice, but I don't know. We'll see. We're sitting in 7 foot of water right now. We're just reeling this chatterbait right off the front edge of this weed line right here, just trying to coax another fish into biting is what we're going for. I definitely would like to catch one more fish if we could, and you know, but hey, I'm not going to complain one bit with what we have caught. That breeze has laid down a little bit. I was really liking that wind when we first started. I think that was helping out this bite some. I think it was helping the moving bait bite. I think I could definitely maybe go up like way shallow with the buzz bait potentially and get bit. I'm not 100% sure though. Not 100% sure. Kind of staying out off the edge of this weed line right here and throwing this chatterbait. Kind of what I feel like I need to keep doing. Keep my rod tip up. Try to keep it up above the grass. Because we're right over the hydrilla right now. This is a little bit of a deeper weed line right here that we're kind of on. Just trying to generate a bite. I don't know. Just for some reason, I'm not feeling this side as much as maybe I normally would. Caught a lot of fish on this side before, but I'm just not feeling the vibes. Just not thinking it's quite as doesn't have quite as many fish on it for some reason on this particular spot right here. Yeah, I'm not sure like what grass that is. Not 100% sure. Not sure. Does anybody know like specifically what kind of grass that is? I'm not 100% sure, but just comment if you do know. I'm thinking it's some kind of like milfoil maybe. I don't think it's hydrilla. I guess it could be, but not 100% sure. Oh, there's one. There's one. There's one. He bit it literally on the drop. Get in here. He's a little bit smaller variety of what we caught earlier, but hey, I'll take it. Another pretty one right there. Absolutely beautiful fish. built, these fish are so built, like they're very, very thick, short, fat fish is what they are. Beautiful fish. Thank you, bud. Got us another one. Not even sure how many fish that is that we've caught. It's right many. I will say that. It's right many. That fish was right here on this corner, on this little point. When I came up, that fish was on it. He was swimming off to the left with it. Awesome. Well, we did get one more. Didn't get no giant. Oh, that's some grass on that. See if we can get a big one. A spider web just come flying. Got all over my hand. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I could get up there a little bit shallower and get a big fish on the buzzbait. I think these fish are just out a little bit. I'm gonna kick out just a little. Yeah, one thing that I really like about the NPFL, you know, a lot of former bass and BFL. I mean, I keep saying BFL, not BFL guys. I'm thinking about BFL because BFL just made that new rule change where they're only allowed to use forward-facing sonar for 3 hours, and the co-angler is the one that's going to be like policing it. Basically, I'm not really 100% sure how well that's going to work out. That could be a nightmare for both parties. I mean, I don't know. That's going to be a little bit of a mess, I believe personally. But you know, NPFL, a lot of the guys. Oh, there was a fish following this. But a lot of the guys that got out, you know, of BASS and MLF and all, that were absolute legends and really, really good anglers, as well as some awesome young guns as well coming up. You know, they're able to go in and not compete against that technology that's allowed in some of the other organizations. So you can just completely remove that from the factors of how the fish are going to be caught. So, you know, you see a lot more like what I'm doing today, a lot more shallow power fishing, throwing the chatterbait, throwing the buzzbait, you know, throwing the frog, top water, stuff like that. And that's what everybody loves watching. You know, honestly, if I was out here right now just shaking a minnow, probably a lot of people would not be, would not be watching this. If I was just out here just shaking a minnow, some people would, but to me, that's nowhere near as exciting as throwing this chatterbait and getting fish to fire up and bite it, or throwing that jig and feeling that thump and that fish swimming off to the side with it. Like, that's some pretty dang awesome stuff. That's what I like. That is what I like. So we're going to see if we can get one more fish, and then that might be it for this live stream. But this has been a good time. This has been a really good time, and everybody that has joined in on this live stream and watched me catch fish, it's been pretty dang cool. We'll see if we can get one more up here, and I kind of would like to jump over to the other side and maybe throw a big fish just blew up here on my right. But I would like to maybe throw, the buzzbait or something like that and try to get a fish to bite that. That would be pretty dang cool, but I don't know. I feel like one should. Definitely feel like one should bite the buzzbait, but I don't know. This is a big time flat right here on the right. Super, super shallow. Very, very shallow weed edge. Let's see. We're gonna work right to this point. This is kind of where we launched at, but I would love to keep fishing, but I don't have a lot more time, unfortunately. Just don't have a lot more time. So we're gonna work our way over here, see if we can get bit. But this has been a good day of fishing. Good day of fishing. Yeah, I'm gonna get over here and I'm gonna throw up here on this point on my right hand side right here, and we'll fish that, and then we'll wrap it up. But I mean, we might be able to get a big one maybe up here on this. I hope so. And one cool thing is, you know, it's really good. I know it might have buffered a couple times, but to be able to come out and fish and not have it buffering all so much, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, I'll tell you what we might do. We might work into this pocket, and we might throw the frog just to try to. I don't know if I can get a fish to come up and eat the frog right now. I don't know. This point right here should have a fish on it, like 100%. Should have a fish on it. Bring it through the weeds. Yep, I think we're going to work right here, right on this left edge, right up here to where we launched at, and I think we're going to call it. I think we're going to call it. We've had a really, really fun day. I mean, I don't even know how long we fished. 2 hours, I think. Maybe over 2 hours, maybe 2.5. But, man, I mean, we had a good time. We had a good time. My line is wrapped around my tip like crazy. Get off here. There we go. But BFL isn't going to do it. I don't think so. I don't think so either. I'm going to leave it at that. I think that was a little bit of a crazy decision. The co-angler is not going to want to deal with that. I don't think the co-angler is going to want to deal with that mess at all. They probably, you know, what happens if they don't have enough co-anglers for the boater? You know, for the amount of boaters, like, what if they don't have enough for that? Then what are they going to do? Like, just not let the boater that paid money fish? Like, that's crazy, you know? Like, that makes no sense. Man, I really need to call it quits, y'all, and I don't want to. I want to just keep fishing. But you know what? I think, what time of the year is this? Well, it's right now. This is live, so this is actually being streamed right this minute. So this is fall. We're right here in the fall. Yeah, I really need to call it quits, but I don't want to. Like, I want to just keep fishing. But I need to get my tail home. I got some stuff I got to do. Oh, gosh, got smoked. I just got bit. See, this is why I don't want to go home. I just got bit right then. Dang it. Yep. I need to keep my tail right here fishing. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do y'all think I should keep fishing or y'all think I should go home? If I keep fishing, I'm only going to fish another 15 minutes. But that was definitely a bite that I just had right there. That was a 100% a bite. This is the stretch that I started on right here and caught those first fish on. But I would love to just sling the buzz bait. When the fishing's good, you never want to leave, you know? Y'all know how that is? You never want to leave. Keep fishing. All right, we'll keep fishing. We'll keep fishing real quick. But I tell y'all what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to keep fishing. I'm going to pick up the buzz bait. And we're going to try to get a fish to come up and eat the buzz bait. I don't know if we can. I don't know if that's the right move or what. Maybe I should throw the spinnerbait instead. I don't know. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? My wife is going to say y'all are a bad influence for telling me to keep fishing because she probably wants me to come home. I'd said I wasn't going to be out here that long, but I'm going to tell you, I wasn't planning on doing quite as good as I did. I mean, that was pretty dang amazing. But I'm going to fish through this stretch with the chatterbaits. So we're going to go with something else. So we're going to go with the buzz bait. I don't know how good the buzz bait is going to do, honestly, because I think these fish are more or less kind of down, you know, on the bottom, kind of, not really up in the zone. They're off the front of the weed edge, but hey, it might bite this. Sometimes here they bite it really good and sometimes they don't. It just depends. It just depends. But I'm just trying to make sure that I stay right off this front edge. That'd be awesome to catch a big one on the buzz bait. I got a awesome buzz bait catch for y'all, several that are going to be in my classic video. That second day was nuts. Heartbreaking and amazing all at the same time. Got some really, really cool catches, so. But hopefully we can get one to come up and eat this. That'd be cool to get a top water bite. Haven't thrown him much today, but hopefully we get one. I don't really know, you know, I could just go along this edge right here and throw the jig. There's a big old bass just floating off to my left right here. Let's see if this fish will bite the jig. That's a big old no. That's a big old fat no. He said, I don't want your jig, bud. That big one said he wanted it, though. He ate that sucker. All right, let's keep on working along here with this buzz bait. I don't know, you know, as much confidence as I have in a buzz bait, I don't have a lot of confidence right now in it, which is super weird because most of the time I have a ton of confidence in the buzzbait, but I don't have a lot of confidence in it right now, even though I throw it a lot and I catch a lot of big fish on it. Somebody said they want to see me throw the spinnerbait, so I'm gonna throw the spinnerbait. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw the spinnerbait. We will throw that bad boy. I love a spinnerbait. Catch a lot of fish on a spinnerbait. At one time, my PB was on a spinnerbait when I was younger. But the spinnerbait catches a lot of big fish. A lot of big fish. So we're going to see if we can get one on this. We're going to stay right here on this edge. The wind has picked up, so that makes me think that the spinnerbait bite might be pretty good. So we're just going to throw this bad boy, work it along slow, throwing it on 5:6 to 1 gear ratio reel. Just like I was throwing the chatterbait on, 5:6 to 1. We're going to work along and see if we can get one to come up and eat this. Like I said, we're working along that same initial shoreline that we fished to start with, but we're going to go down it with the spinnerbait this time. I'm throwing the spinnerbait on the 6-foot 10-inch medium. I think this is the medium heavy moderate fast. This is the Mach 1. So this is the medium heavy moderate fast Mach 1 rod, and it's a really good rod for the spinnerbait. It loads up good, has a good tip to it. I really like it. It would be a good chatterbait rod too, but for the spinnerbait I like just a little teeny bit heavier action for a spinnerbait than a chatterbait. That's just personally what I prefer. So I throw the spinnerbait on a little teeny bit heavier rod, whereas that chatterbait rod is more of that composite rod that loads a little bit deeper. I just think, you know, the whippiness doesn't cast a spinnerbait quite as good, whereas the chatterbait has a smaller profile and casting it is a little bit easier. I think that's what it has a lot to do with. Not so much as like the load of the rod and the way it loads, but more so the casting is why I tend to go with, you know, a little teeny bit heavier rod for the spinnerbait. But let's see if we can get one on this thing. We're coming up on the edge of this point right here. This is another really good point. I don't know if we caught a fish off of it on our first time through. I don't know if we did or not, but it definitely has some fish on it. I know that for sure. So let's see if we can get one off of it. Kind of staying out away from that grass. Like I said, the blades on a spinnerbait, they get intertwined really easily. And, you know, if they get that grass around them or whatever, that cast is done. That cast is done. So I'm waiting for that rod to load up. I'm thinking once we get in that little zone where I caught that 4.5 pounder, that maybe I might be able to catch another one on this spinnerbait. Really should be able to catch one on this spinnerbait on this point though. Stay out here off the point. Don't throw it up in that grass. bite may have slowed a little bit. I mean, I definitely think it has slowed some. Kind of seemed like maybe the bite might have transitioned to maybe more of a slower jig bite, maybe. They might have got off the moving bait just a little bit. You know, definitely if I was in a tournament and I caught that fish on that jig, that probably would have told myself, you know, okay, get the jig, throw the jig, make sure we're make sure we're focusing on main lake points and things like that. If I was fishing a tournament, you know, that's kind of how you put patterns together and figure things out, is like that. You know, you want to put the pieces together. Seemed kind of like the moving bait bite faded a little bit as I worked down that side and caught some of those bigger fish on this right side. And then it kind of felt like it faded to me. And then as we got over to the other side, I picked that jig up, threw on that point, and caught that really, really good fish. So it's just, that's kind of how you break somewhere down, figure out the pattern. That's really important. Like I said, especially in a tournament scenario, that's super, super important. So yeah, I'll show you the spinnerbait. So spinnerbait right here, this is a Strike King Tour. This is the 3/8 ounce. This is in the spot remover color. And it's an awesome spinnerbait. It's absolutely one of my favorite. Like I said, 3/8 ounce, has a really good skirt on it, and it's got one silver blade right at the end. The bigger blade has a gold blade, is a smaller, and this is a willow leaf, a double willow leaf spinnerbait. So really, really good spinnerbait. I've caught a ton of fish on it. This is a spinnerbait I've thrown for many, many years. And like I said, it's just one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Somebody is back here shooting, but I don't know if y'all can hear this person shooting. They're shooting something. Hopefully not shooting towards me. See, my spinnerbait has some grass on it. Okay, it just got off. Yeah, hopefully we can get one on the spinnerbait. You know, normally this is a pretty good spinnerbait lake and they bite it pretty good, but you know, every day is different. They just might be on that chatterbait a little bit better today. But I'm just reeling this thing nice and slow. Like I said, 5/6 to 1 gear ratio reel, and that same 15-pound test P line, that C21, and we're just slow rolling it along, trying to get bit. But it just might be more of a chatterbait type day, more so than a spinnerbait day. And I mean, a lot of times that's the way it is. One bait will just outperform whatever other baits you're throwing. And today might be, just might be more of a chatterbait style day than the spinnerbait. Just, I don't know. I might could just throw a jig out here offshore and catch not that many fish, but catch big fish. You just don't know. That's why it's fishing and not catching. That's why it's fishing and not catching. But I'm gonna work down this edge. If I can catch one on the spinnerbait, I will be happy. If I can get one. See if we can get it. With this wind blowing, like, man, the spinnerbait should really be able to pull some fish. I would think. I mean, it's done been, an hour and a half or so since I fished this stretch. I mean, I know doggone well some more fish have pulled up, or some fish are up here willing to bite. trying to see right here, this weed edge kicks out off this side right here. Oh, there's one on the spinnerbait. Oh, it's a little one. Well, we got one on the spinnerbait. There we go. Look how black that bass is. Oh my goodness. That is one super, super dark fish right there. That is awesome. I mean, that fish is dark. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Thank you, bud. Well, we got one on the spinnerbait. So that's nice. He was right here on this front corner, set up on this edge right here. This is somewhat near where I caught that 4.5 pounder. It's kind of near this area right here. But we got one on the spinnerbait. That's what we wanted. Need to kick out away from this little point right here of this grass, because these fish are going to be on the front side of it, right in here. See if we can get another one on the spinnerbait. And for those that are watching, do you prefer a spinnerbait or a chatterbait? Like day in and day out. Do you prefer a spinnerbait or a chatterbait? I'm curious. I'm even though I threw a chatterbait earlier and the majority of today, day in and day out, I personally prefer a spinnerbait. That's just me personally. I prefer a spinnerbait. Chatterbait will absolutely catch them, and catch big ones too. I mean, catch bigs. But I think a spinnerbait, just day in and day out, I think it will catch more fish. I really do. Right in here is definitely where I caught that bigger bass. Well, that 4.5 pounder anyway, that first really good fish. It was somewhere right in this zone. Oh God, I just got throttled. I just got bit on the spinnerbait. This feels like a pretty good one. Yeah, this is a better fish. Is this a pickerel? No, it's a really nice bass. It's a really nice bass. Get in here on the spinnerbait. Y'all check that one out right there. Pretty one. Got him on that spinnerbait. Man, we have had an awesome day, y'all. We have had an awesome day. I don't even know what else to even ask for. I mean, can I ask for any more than this? Live streaming, have caught a 6 pound, 12 ounce, have caught a 4.5 pounder. Just absolute beauty. This is just, it's been a really good day. It has been a really good day. So we're going to let this guy go. That was on the spinnerbait. This zone right here definitely has a decent amount of fish in it. I caught those fish right here on the chatterbait. I believe this is exactly almost where I caught that 4.5 pounder right here. But that fish right there came from behind it and absolutely smoked it. Just came from behind it and pushed it forward. And that was a really, really good bite. That was awesome. Somebody is up there on that hill firing a pistol up there above us, but they sound to be a little ways off. But man, let's get another one. We'll go ahead and work on up to that point where I lost that great big fish on the chatterbait. We'll work up to that point, see if we can get another one, see if we can get bit up there at that point, and that is where we're going to call it quits. That's where we're going to call it quits. But we got 2 for the spinnerbait. And just to give y'all an idea, we're sitting in 6.8 foot of water. So just over 6.5 foot of water. That weed edge is right there to our right. And we're just staying right off the front of it. Right off the front of it. These fish are set up feeding, somewhat feeding anyway. And we're just trying to get the spinnerbait to come over their head and get them to eat it. And we've been successful on a couple. Tell y'all what, I'm going to probably stop at the store on the way home and celebrate catching a almost 7-pounder with a Red Bull. You know, I mean, anybody else like Red Bull? Probably not the best for me, to be honest with you, but they're good. I like a good NOS and a Red Bull. But yeah, it's been an awesome day of fishing. We'll see if we can get us one more. Maybe that great big fish on this point will want to bite again. Ooh, a shad jumped out of the water right where my spinnerbait landed. So maybe there's a fish up there wanting to eat my spinnerbait. Like a bunch of bait fish up here on this corner. Oh, I thought that was a bite. I think that was grass. It could have been a bite. Not 100% sure. And that wind is really starting to pick up now. We have a big front coming in. Tomorrow is supposed to be cooler. Actually, in a couple nights, it's supposed to drop down and be 40 degrees. So it's going to be the coldest night by far that we have had all year. And I can promise y'all that Friday morning when it's 40 degrees, I will be in a tree stand. I can tell you that. I can promise you that. Let's see, chatterbait, you just cast and reel. You know, the chatterbait, you can just cast and reel it. I also really work that bait a lot differently. Like earlier in the video when I was throwing it, I was stopping it, popping it, moving it around a lot. You know, it gets bit a lot of times when you pause that chatterbait, and as it falls, those fish will bite it. So you generate more strikes if you don't fish it on just a straight retrieve. If you actually stop it, let it drop a little bit, and do that, you're going to get bit a little bit more than just if you do a straight retrieve. But you will get bit if you just retrieve it straight in. The chatterbait is really good. It's an awesome bait, and it produces day in and day out. You know, spinnerbait, same way. If you just cast and reel it in, you will catch fish. If you cast it, reel it in, stop it, start it, you know, bury your retrieve, fast, slow, all of that, you're going to get bit more. You're going to get bit more. It's just, you know, that bass will follow it, and that little bit of a difference in your retrieve, it'll trigger them a lot of times. It'll trigger a fish that maybe was not going to bite. It'll trigger them into biting. So that's just, oh, there's one. There's one. On spinnerbait, get up here. Little guy on the spinnerbait. Yeah, it's a little teeny one, but he bit it. A rattle trap? No, a rattle trap is not a chatterbait. A rattle trap is a lipless. A chatterbait, This is a chatterbait right here. Has a blade on the front of it. It has like a spinnerbait body, and it has a blade on the front of it. That's a chatterbait. A rattle trap is what they call a lipless crankbait most of the time. That's the different verbiage for a rattle trap. Rattle trap is a great bait as well. Like I said, a lipless crankbait, rattle trap, amazing baits in the fall and the spring. I tend to throw them more in the spring, but they're a really good bait. And I definitely probably could have caught some fish on one today, but I decided to stick mainly with the chatterbait and the jig, and it definitely paid off. Definitely paid off with a really good limit of fish. I don't even know. I'm trying to think limit wise. Let's see, 6 3/4, 4. So that's 10 3/4, half. So that's 11 1/4. 3-pounder. We're looking at 14 1/4, 17. I'm gonna tell you what. We definitely have our best 5. We're definitely probably pushing 20 pounds for sure. We were definitely probably pushing 20 pounds with our best 5, I would say. We've had a really good day. Really fun day of fishing. But we're going to get right here to this corner, and we're going to call it quits. See if we can get one off this edge right here. Tempted to pick that jig up and throw it on that corner. There ought to be a fish right here on this edge. Yeah, we got about another few casts in us, and that's going to be it. But be sure to comment and let me know how many of you all enjoyed this live. How many of you all enjoyed watching this live? And if anybody watched this thing from beginning to end, the whole thing, you don't even know how much I appreciate that. I know everybody's not able to do that. Trust me, I know. You know, I get it 100%. But if somebody watched this from beginning to end, that's amazing. That's awesome. And I know some of y'all, I wouldn't be surprised if actually more than one of y'all have done that. I really wouldn't, because the support that I get from everybody, you know, on my channel is amazing. It's truly amazing. All the comments, everybody liking, you know, that's subscribed. I have some new subscribers that have came on here recently. So I appreciate everybody that, you know, has hit the subscribe button in that aspect. And it's just been, it's been an awesome, you know, awesome while. But this person right here is shooting pretty close to me. So I'm going to turn around and get the heck back behind these trees right here, because I don't know where this person is shooting. But they're shooting pretty, sounds like this way. So we're gonna speed our tails back right here, because I don't know what kind of backdrop those people have that they're shooting into. And yeah, we're gonna slide on back right here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make this my last cast. I'm going to make this my last cast. I was going to put a little bit more time in on that corner right there, but it definitely sounded like those people were shooting towards the water. So not gonna get up there and chance anything. But I'm going to tell you, this has been an absolutely awesome time out here on the water. I appreciate everybody that watched, and it's just, you know, everybody that like I said, likes, subscribes, checks out all my regular videos. It's absolutely awesome. We got 49 likes on this video. I had over 91 people at one time watching early on, and I appreciate it. You know, so we're gonna go get this thing on the trailer, and we're gonna call it a day. And like I said, I appreciate everybody that watched. And man, what a cool day out here on the water! A beautiful fall day. I'm not gonna be able to hunt this afternoon because my daughter has softball practice, and you know that's one thing that I absolutely love. Other than fishing, I absolutely love watching my daughter play softball. I was a baseball player growing up, and watching her play softball is the most amazing thing to me. Great little ball player, and we got games all through the weekends on into November. But we got practice this afternoon, and tomorrow afternoon, me and her, we're going to get in a tree stand. So maybe we get lucky, and one of the two of us will get a big buck or get a deer. And yeah, but I appreciate it. And thank you, Daniel, for, you know, commenting on every video. I appreciate it. And it does take a little bit of work. All this stuff takes a little bit of work, but you know, I appreciate it so much. But like I said, I'm going to jump off of here, and I'll see you next time on Gunfish TV. Thank you.